Last month, Disney announced that the long-term CEO Bob Iger will return and replace the current CEO, Bob Chapek, after the company experienced poor performance under Chapek's tenure. Prior to his departure, Iger stayed with Disney for 15 years and oversaw the majority of Disney's massive expansion into Pixar, Marvel, and the creation of Disney+. Disney's stock shot up to 8.1% following the news of Iger's reinstatement. However, considering the current instability and bearishness of the market, does Iger's reinstatement signal a turning point in Disney's stock? There is no doubt that Chapek took over the CEO position at a very difficult moment, right before a pandemic that shook the entire entertainment business. However, investors and media outlets have shown increasing dissatisfaction towards Chapek's performance, especially his not-so-effective style of leadership. Owing to factors such as high competition in the streaming market, COVID lockdowns, and the pessimism surrounding Chapek's competency, Disney stock is down more than 50% from their early 2021 high. Its streaming subscriber growth has stalled, while the company is burning through cash and assets at an astonishing pace. Reinstating Iger, a historically renowned leader, back into the leader position is an excellent way of reestablishing the faith of investors in Disney. However, as the old saying goes, things aren't always what they seem. Significance of Chapek's sudden departure. For a number of reasons, Chapek's departure news has raised eyebrows. One of them is the abruptness of the change. Most CEO departures are phased out between intervals, with the departing CEO continuing to work for weeks, if not months, to facilitate a smoother handover to the next leader. While Iger's previous 15-year tenure as CEO should allow him to integrate back into the company with ease, Chapek's decision to abruptly step down could signal a strong likelihood of high tensions between him and the board of directors. The fact that the same board of directors actually praised Chapek in June may be the biggest red flag here. Broad chairperson Susan Arnold said at the time, in connection with unanimously extending his contract by 3 years, that Bob Chapek is the right leader at the right moment for the Walt Disney Company, and the board has complete trust in him and his leadership team. Although the situation between Chapek and the board of directors is not apparent, we are likely able to deduce their attitudes by looking at some significant decisions Chapek has made for Disney. Chapek's plan to restructure the media behemoth to promote streaming in October 2020 may have been a significant blunder. While the demand for Disney Plus and other streaming services was high while people were locked in their homes, the steady ease in the pandemic severity has caused many households to cancel subscriptions amidst the easing tensions. Disney's direct-to-consumer losses continue to rise, hitting a new high of $1.5 billion last quarter. Despite the fact that its theme parks remain profitable despite inflation, its film and television companies aren't functioning at typical Disney levels. Chapek was tasked with managing the firm through the epidemic while movie theaters and amusement parks were closed. But the stock has struggled over the past year as its streaming section has been bleeding cash and investors have lost faith in Disney's growth plan. Disney stock has lagged behind the S&P 500 throughout Chapek's tenure. Is Walt Disney becoming an enticing investment again? Yes, Disney stock is an attractive investment even after the CEO change. However, it is not a definite purchase just because Iger is replacing Chapek. It's an underestimated aspect of the investment world, but a chief executive's success or failure may often be attributed to a good or bad timing. Most people other than Chapek would have witnessed the pandemic-caused boom of the streaming sector in 2020 and assumed that the opportunity was resilient. In the same sense, it's unlikely that anybody could combat the present inflationary, employment, and politically sensitive atmosphere better than Chapek. If Iger had stayed in command instead of stepping down in 2020, he might not have been necessarily achieved better results than Chapek. Nonetheless, Disney is likely in a much better position under Iger's leadership, simply because he has both the historical capabilities and the experience to lead Disney forward. Recall that during Iger's 15-year tenure as CEO, he was responsible for the acquisition of major titles such as Marvel and Star Wars, all the while establishing Disney Plus and Hulu a few years later. The current corporation is still the organization he founded, and he's stepping up at a moment when the streaming industry is waning. The future still remains uncertain, but Iger's reinstatement is definitely a positive news for Disney. At the same time, although COVID-19 has undoubtedly transformed the theatrical cinema industry for the foreseeable future, it is far from being irreversible. According to Box Office Mojo, this year's Top Gun: Maverick is the 11th highest grossing picture of all time, while last year's Spider-Man: No Way Home is number 6 despite being released during a pandemic. consumers are still more than willing to go to physical theaters if the film is exciting enough. So what's the bottom line? Whether Chapek's performance was adequate or not is unimportant to investors today. The reinstatement of Iger may sprout endless possibilities for Disney. There's also no doubt that Iger is likely the most qualified person to keep Disney profitable at a time when a deeply discounted Disney stock is already primed for a resurgence. Given Disney's problems in the previous year and Iger's outstanding reputation among investors and in Hollywood, it's easy to see why the stock is up this month. While investors shouldn't anticipate any dramatic changes now that Iger is back in charge, he is likely the best person to run the firm as it transforms from a linear media business to a streaming one. Overall, we give Disney stock a hold rating. Need more stock options for the last month of 2022? Check out our video on the top 5 stocks to invest in this December. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more videos.